All right, y'all. So everybody be having story time. So I figured, why not give y'all story time? Because I be having some crazy stories. So this is about how me and this girl randomly found out we was talking to the same guy while sitting at a nail salon. Yes, sitting at a nail salon. Okay, guys. So just for the purpose of the story time, we'll call the guy Polo and we'll call the girl Jenna. Okay. So just so you guys know, I am very OCD about how I get things done and when I get things done. I always get my nails done on a Sunday. I always get waxed on a Friday, and I always get my hair done on a Thursday. I don't know why, but it's been like that for quite some time. So whatever, follow me. All right, y'all. So it was a Saturday, and for some reason or another, I kept saying, I need to go get my nails done. I need to get my nails done. I don't know why I had the urge to want to get my nails done, but for some reason I did. I didn't have anywhere to go that night, and I didn't have anywhere to be that next morning on Sunday. But for some reason, I just really felt the need to go get my nails done. So boom, I go to get my nails done. I'm sitting there, minding my, black girl magic business on TikTok per usual. And I feel somebody come in and sit next to me, but I didn't really look up because I was too busy looking at my TikToks. So I don't know where I hear Jenna go, oh my God, we got the same exact design. I mean, the same exact color, down to that, that little special thing we be doing on the ring finger, the same length, the same shape, everything. And so I'm just looking like, damn, that's super odd. Normally you'll find somebody with the same color, but the same exact nail art and everything, like that's very freaking rare. So boom, from there we start talking or whatever, just, having a random conversation. I was like, yeah, my guy, he likes for my nails to be done a particular way. So whenever I get my nails done, I always ask him like, what he wants, the color and everything. She's like, oh yeah, me too. My guy's the same way. And I said, well, they must got very similar tastes because, we have our nails done the same exact way. So we keep talking, whatever the case may be. And then I noticed my nail tech is taking a little bit longer than normal. So I said, okay, let me just get my feet done first while I'm waiting for him. Now, mind y'all, I never get my toes done first. I always get my nails done. Like I told you guys, I am very OCD about how I do things. And for whatever reason, something told me just go sit in a chair and get your feet done. And then next thing you know, Jenna comes and she happens to sit right next to me. So we're getting our feet done. We're sitting next to each other. We continue our conversation. So now I'm sitting in a chair and I get a phone call and it's Polo. So he's like, hey, babe, where you at? I'm like, well, I'm at the nail salon. He was like, oh, why you ain't call me? So I can tell you, what color I think you should wear if the case may be. So I'm like, all right, well, just FaceTime me and I'll show you the 3 colors that I'm like kind of down to, the ones that I'm trying to pick from. So, all right, boom, he FaceTime me. All right, so initially when he FaceTimed me, he didn't say nothing because I had the camera flipped so that way he could pick out of the 3 colors that I initially chose. So then he looks at it for a little bit and then he goes, okay, I'm rocking with number 2. So then from my peripheral, I could kind of tell that Jenna was like making a face. So I don't know. I didn't really think nothing of it. But then I, put the camera back up. I flipped it back to my face and I say, hey, babe, I made a new friend. And you and her dude must have the same exact taste because our nails are done the same exact way. All right, y'all. So here goes part 2. Don't mind the cupcake. Let me rewind real quick because I forgot to tell y'all. When me and Jenna first started talking, she told me that was her very first time ever going to that nail salon. So y'all see how things work out? Because I've been going there for 2 years. So it's just funny how all of a sudden, I decide, let me get my nails done on a Saturday. And this is her very first time going to that specific nail salon. So anyway, I don't know why I was being friendly, getting ready to turn the camera to, to Jenna. So that way Polo could see her. But for some reason, I didn't turn the camera all the way. So like I had started to, but then I had turned it back on me. And I was like, all right, babe, well, I'm gonna hit you up when I leave so you can see my nails and my toes. So as soon as I put the camera down, whatever the case may be, or hung up the FaceTime, she's just looking at me. And I'm like, why is this girl like staring me down like this? So then Jenna asked me, is that your boyfriend? And I was like, nah, because he wasn't my boyfriend. Like we was talking for like 2 months. No, we was talking for like 3 months. And I just didn't want a boyfriend. Like he kept asking me, but I wasn't feeling having a boyfriend at that time in my life. So I'm like, nah, that's not my boyfriend. I was like, why? Because mind you, like I said, she's staring me down. I had saw her, when I first got on FaceTime with him, like from my peripheral, like when he spoke, I guess when she heard his voice, she had peeped it was him. So I already felt like, whatever. So I'm looking at her and I'm just like, why you ask? Whew, I had to finish my cupcake, y'all. But anyway. So yeah, so I'm like, like, what's up? Whatever. So she goes, that's my boyfriend. So automatically I'm just like, hold up. Hold up. And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, well, he's not my boyfriend. She's like, me and him was together. We broke up. And recently we just started talking back again. So I'm just like, in my head, I'm really just like, this cannot be happening right now. Like, of all things, this cannot be happening right now. So of course, you know, you hear somebody say that, so you want receipts. So I proceed to show her like pictures of me and him, just making sure. Oh, I got frosting in my hair. Just making sure that, you know, it's that. And she's like, yeah, that's Polo. And I'm just like, bitch, you gotta be freaking kidding me. So then she pulls out her phone and she starts showing me pictures of them. So I'm just like, this cannot be happening. Like, out of all things to happen, this cannot be happening. So of course the demon in me is just like, oh, we gotta set him up. So I basically tell her, like, look, this is what we finna do. I'm going to call him and I'm going to tell him, hey, you know, I left my purse, my wallet. I ain't got no money on me, and that I need him to come bring me the money so that way I can pay for my nails and pay for my toes, and he going to see us both. All right, y'all. So I'm going to try and sum everything up in part 3. If not, it'll be a short, like a quick part 4, but y'all just follow me, okay? So everybody in the nail salon is kind of like looking at us, or at least the people who's paying attention, and it was just like, awkward, right? So I sit down to get my refill done or whatever, and my nail tech, he really messy. He was like, yeah, tell him you'll be done in 30 minutes, because obviously he wants to, you know, be a part of the antics, right? So I called Polo and I'm like, hey, you know, I forgot my wallet, this and the third, could you bring me the money? And he was like, oh, well, check your Cash App, I already sent you money. Because mind y'all, he will always send me money on Sunday, or he will come and bring me money on Sunday for me to go and get my nails, my toes done, since that was my routine. So I was like, the nail tech said they don't take Cash App, they don't take Zelle. So can you just bring me money? So he was like, all right, cool. How long is it going to take you to be done? So I'm like, oh, 30 minutes. So he was like, all right, bet, I'm going to slide. All right, cool. So now me and Jen are kind of just like looking at each other, like every once in a while we're like glancing at each other, and I keep tapping my screen because now it's the official countdown. Like, it's about to happen, right? All right, so Polo calls me. He is outside, and I'm just like, I'm like kind of sweating almost, because it's like, oh my God, like it's really happening now. So I go outside, or before I go outside, rather, I told Jen, I'm like, all right, wait like maybe 2 minutes and then come outside. All right, bet. So I go outside and we're talking, and I'm noticing more than 2 minutes has gone by. It's like maybe 5 minutes. And he was like, all right, babe, I gotta go. I guess he had something to do. And I was like, okay. And so he hands me the money. He was like, call me when you get home. So I tried my best to prolong the conversation, but he was in a rush. So, okay, boom, he pulls off, y'all. So I walk back in the nail salon and I'm like, girl, what happened? Like, why didn't you come outside? So she's like, oh, I couldn't face him. I couldn't face him. What you mean you couldn't? So I'm just staring at her like, girl, you made me do this stupid stuff just for you not to fall through with the plan. Like, and everybody's kind of just looking at her like, come on now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, whatever. I'm like, so how about we just call him on FaceTime so he can see the both of us? Y'all, this girl paid for her nails and jetted. I mean, she was pew, out the door. Like, you would have thought she was a track star. I mean, 4-4 on the field. Like, ma'am, what are we doing? What are we doing here? So little mama done ran out the door like she stole something. And so at this point, it's just like, okay, it is what it is. I paid for my nails, and then as soon as I got out, I called Polo, and I was like, hey, whenever you're done doing what you're doing, could you come to my house, because we need to talk. So like a few hours go by, so knock on the door. Of course, it's Polo, and all right, I'm about to talk. All right, y'all, so I just got off work, so I'm gonna try and hurry up and get y'all part 4, because I need to take a bath, go to sleep, all that good stuff. All right. So Polo walks through the door. Before I could even say anything, he was like, so that's how we doing it now? We around here plotting with crazy? And I'm like, plotting with crazy? What are you talking about? He hands me his phone, and guys, that I saw in that phone. So the girl has been stalking me since the very first time he posted me. So we had went out on a date, like our second week talking, and he asked me if he could tag me, and I wasn't talking to nobody at the time. So I was like, okay, cool, you can tag me. So he tagged me, and from there, the girl had been sending him screenshots of my pictures. She has screen recorded his story, because he used to like record us like holding hands in his car like during date night. So she was sending him screen recordings of that, and y'all, that is how she was able to copy my nail design. Words are wise, y'all. please, I beg of y'all, please stop posting y'all location, because that's how she found me. When I went to the nail salon, I remember taking a picture of what my nails look like, and then I posted about to get done up, and I put the location. So that's how she was able to find me at the freaking nail salon, y'all. Like, this shit is crazy. So now, y'all, we sitting and we talking, and I'm not gonna lie, I did feel a little bit bad because I was trying to set him up. I did, I ain't gonna lie. Especially being that he's not my man, he's not her man. So it's like, okay, Lisa, what were you really doing here? But at the same time, I was very upset with him because I'm like, you see, this girl is crazy. Like, if she could sit already trying to find out where I am so she could be at that location, sis obviously isn't wrapped too tight. Like, she could have came there and shot and killed me, and I'd have been dead. So now, we get everything out there. We talk about the situation, and we're sitting on my couch, and it comes to a point where we're just like sitting in silence because I don't know what to say. He don't know what to say. And then I kind of remember just being like, well, it was real. Because like I said, even though I was wrong, I guess, for trying to set him up, it's just the drama that was behind it for me. Like, it was too much. Like, I'm an adult. I don't have time to be playing these games with nobody. Like, I'm just trying to live my best life. And so he was like, all right. And then that was it, y'all. We stopped talking. And then, periodically he would check up on me. I'd check up on him. And, yeah, so that's how it went down.
Okay, so y'all wanted a story time, so I'm gonna give it to y'all. So basically, when I was 17, I was talking to this boy that one of my friends had introduced me to. And at the time, I was like just going through like a serious breakup. Like, this breakup was like the one where I posted the boy's shoes on fire. Yeah, that breakup. So I was like so hurt, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do me, and I'm gonna do something that I shouldn't do. And y'all, keep in mind, it was nothing really holding me back, cause like he was a tall, tatted, grown, light-skinned, bearded, fresh lineup man, So yeah, I texted him and I was like, sneak in. And he snuck in. And we were doing things we weren't supposed to, on top of sexual things that we weren't supposed to. And next thing I know, he fell asleep, so I went to sleep. Come to find out, I feel some on my shoulder. And I wake up, I look over to him staring in my eyes like, I'm like, and I look up and it's my mama at the door, like. So I'm looking at her, she's looking at him, he looking at me, and we're just all there for quite literally like 3 minutes, just like staring at each other. And then she was just like, get out of my house. And he got up and got out of our house. And then my mom investigated, saw things around the room that shouldn't have been around the room. Y'all, keep in mind, I don't got no clothes. I don't got no clothes on, so it was kind of, it was just getting worse and worse and worse. So she took my phone, which I eventually got back the next day. I had ended up having to write a letter to apologize to my dad because of the other thing I was doing. And yeah, it's really not that big of a story. I have bigger stories, but yeah.
Story time. Okay, so I was at home sleeping in my bed peacefully. This was about maybe 1 o'clock in the morning, and my phone was blowing up. So I'm like, well, who could this be? So y'all, it was him FaceTiming me. I answered the FaceTime. All I seen was ambulance and nurses and, the people all in the background. So I sit up in the bed. I'm like, what's going on? So they was like, you can just get to the hospital. We're going to Blase Squaze Hospital, which just so happened to be the hospital that I was working at the time. So I'm like, okay, cool. It took me literally 3 minutes to get there. I beat them to the hospital. So I get to the hospital and I'm like, okay, well, like, what's going on? They here yet? She's like, no, they're not here yet, blah, blah. Maybe they're on the way. So his brother gets to the hospital. We're both in the waiting room and we're waiting. So 5 minutes haven't even gone by. The next thing you know, I hear trauma 1 to ER bed 1. I'm like, okay, so yeah, that's them. They coming in. The next thing you know, trauma 2, ER bed 2. Excuse me? So I'm like, maybe that's just the person that he got an accident with. Okay, cool. So his brother quickly changed that. His brother was like, I thought it was you. He was in a car accident. I mean, what? You thought who? I was home in my bed. So what's going on? So I'm riled up this time. So I'm rushing, walking real fast, bitch, just like this, real fast to the ER room. Because by this time we could get in the back and go see him. So I'm rushing and I'm walking fast and I'm looking mean, bitch. So he back there in the back, girl, crying, speaking in Creole and stuff to his brother, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, well, who you was in the car accident with? He was like, I'm sorry. So the girl on the other side of the curtain was like, who? So I snatched the curtain back. Here I go. Oh, you his girlfriend? Yes, I'm his girlfriend, and you are? Oh, my name Brittany. Looked her up and down, turned my head, because my issue is not with her, it's with him. Her face was tore up. She was all beat up, bloodied up. Girl, the accident did you justice. It did my justice, I mean. So once that doctor left out from talking to him and telling me how to care for him, I put both my hands around that nigga head. I put left hand on neck, right hand on neck, one knee on the bed, and I strangled that nigga some more, like, ugh. His brother like, stop, don't do that, don't do that to him. Okay, so after I was done choking the shit out of him and all that, security came in, his brother was pulling me off, everybody pulling me off him, stop, don't do that, we're gonna have to make you leave, blah, blah, blah. But all I was hearing was womp, 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 womp. So it's time for us to check out. So, you know, when you check out, you got to push him out in a dang on wheelchair. So I politely said to him, if you think you finna look to the left, you can get to the left. Because that's where she was, to our left, in that bed. So he mad at her in the wheelchair. You would have thought he was in a military standing in front of the Buckingham Palace, neck straight and stiff. This him, y'all, this him. So we get back to my spot or whatever, talking, you trying to explain this, that, and the other, trying to give a kid with a stiff neck with that shit stuck on your neck. Just look at the fool. Look at it. Just look at him. Don't he look like a liar? Don't he look like a cheater? Just look at him. But y'all know what they say. Only niggas with money can cheat. It costs to cheat around here, baby. It costs. Just like that mouth. It costs. And it costs it. But to answer y'all question, no, we're not still together. But yes, we are still good friends. Good friends.